Hi everybody. It is my great privilege today to be sharing with you the Intuitive Intelligence Micro Method. The Micro Method is something that if you've had an Intuitive Intelligence Method session with me, you'll know that you get it as homework to do for 7 days after your method session. And the reason why we do that is after we do a method session, as you would have experienced, this subconscious is agile after we go in there and do the amazing work in the 75-minute session. And this micro method is really, really important so that the new order takes hold rather than the old subconscious fear coming back into place and kind of landing back in where it has hung out for lifetimes before that. So it is my absolute pleasure and privilege to be sharing this practice with you today so that you can follow along and do this for the next 7 days. Now, don't panic if you haven't done an Intuitive Intelligence Method session with me. That's perfectly fine. You can do this process at any time and still reap the beautiful benefits from it because it is so simple yet so powerful. So the reason why we do the micro method is to transmute fear into love, and anything that is not love is fear. So the way it works is that fear doesn't always show up as, oh, I am afraid of. Sometimes it comes across in other manifestations. So fear can be anything that's not love. For example, frustration, anger, sadness, anxiety, all of those not so good feelings like rage, depression, all of that yucky anything that's not love, that's all a manifestation of fear. So what you can do is if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling like rubbish because of X reason, whatever X is doesn't matter, you can do this micro method practice on that thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through the process and explain what to do, how to do it, and why we do it, so that you can go through this micro method a couple of times, even just with the guided version here, so that you feel confident to be able to take that into your daily life, because this is such a powerful process that this practice, when done daily, will literally change your life. All right, so let's begin. The way that the micro method works is we spend a few minutes in a state where we've got our eyes closed. So if possible, if you haven't already done so, get yourself into a comfy position where you're seated with your spine erect if you can, cross-legged or whatever feels right for you. But get yourself into a position where you're seated and comfortable. When you're ready to do so, you can then sit down, get nice and comfy, settle in and close down your eyes. And once you've closed down your eyes, what we're going to do is take our focus within. So take a nice deep breath in through the nose and letting it go out through the mouth with an audible sigh. And doing one more of those, and on the exhale, let go of all of the effort required to bring you to this point in your day. And you'll find that the louder the sigh, the easier it is to let your day go. So don't be afraid to give it a big fat sigh, nice and verbal, nice and vocal. So then what we're going to do is we're going to pay attention to that thing that's causing us distress, the fear, whatever it might be. And we're going to identify with it. What is it? Is it frustration? Is it anger? Is it anxiety? Whatever it is, go ahead and identify it and be with it for a moment. Quite often we just push these feelings aside or we avoid them entirely. But by simply being with it, we're acknowledging it. And then go ahead and rate it in terms of intensity on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the most intense now. And our great hope with the micro method is to bring that number down. So go ahead and ask yourself what that number is. Rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. And that number will come to you quite quickly. Your intuition, regardless of how well practiced you are with your intuition, is instant, it's precise. So don't doubt that first number that comes to you, for that is the number that you are receiving. And the big thing when it comes to intuition is not only listening, but also trusting. So go with that number, whatever that first number was. And once you've got that number on a scale of 1 to 10, our great hope with the micro method, as I said, is to bring that number down. So placing your attention away from the number and away from that distressing whatever that thing is now. And taking 2 fingers or the palm of your hand to the center of your chest. And with our eyes closed and our breath deepened, and that physical touch, we are signaling to our physiology that we are very safe, and we are deferring to the wisdom of our heart's intelligence, that our heart is in charge now. Taking another deep breath in through the nose, letting it go out through the mouth now. And I want you now to bring to memory, or bring to mind, I should say, memories that evoke strong feelings of gratitude and appreciation. You might find that your focus lands upon one particular memory, or you might have a smorgasbord of memories and events that pop up. Either is perfect. And what you're going to begin to do now is allow yourself to feel that gratitude. Let it envelop you. Let it become the vibration that you can feel from the top of your head right down to the tips of your toes. And allow that feeling of gratitude to flood your entire physical body and spill out into your energetic body, outside of the dimensions of your physical body. And as you do so, you are literally transmuting that fear to love by holding that high vibrational state of gratitude. And hold it for a few moments in silence now. The idea is for it to build in intensity. And giving yourself over to that feeling state fully allows for the deepest possible reprogramming of that fear and transmuting it into love. Without having to consciously do anything with the fear. By holding that high vibrational state of gratitude, the work is being done. So taking a nice deep breath in again once more through the nose. And letting it go out through the mouth. Take a look around for that distressing or fearful or anxiety-ridden thought, whatever it was that you identified at the beginning, that you rated on a scale of 1 to 10. And go ahead when you find it, if you find it, rate it again. And know that that number will come to you instantly. Don't doubt it. And once you have your number, placing your hand back in your lap and gently blinking open your eyes. Now, if your score is 2 or below, you can leave it at that. Of course, our great hope is to get that number down. Ideally, 2 to 0 is fantastic. Anything 3 or above, I invite you to go back in. So if your score now is a 3 or above, go back into that state. Place your hand, the palm or 2 fingers back at the center of your chest. Take a nice deep breath. And then focus again on that memory that evokes those strong feelings of gratitude once more. Do it for another minute or 2, 3 if you want to supercharge the practice. And just allow those feelings to flood your body, lighting up every cell. And allow yourself to sit in that state for a couple of minutes in silence and allow it to grow and build in intensity. And then check back in again and give yourself another score. And you can go back in a couple of times here, that's fine. And the idea is that with the focused intention on that gratitude, on that beautiful vibrational feeling state of gratitude, you are by default transmuting those fears into love. And it's just magic, it's absolute magic. So if your score is 3 or above, please do go back in, take the time, take the focus, and be really, really deliberate in where you place your energy and your consciousness on that feeling of gratitude. And then once you get yourself to a 2 or below, wrap up your practice. You might like to bow in gratitude, you might like to give thanks, you might just like to take a moment. Whatever feels right for you, and wrap up your practice. And this is something you can do many, many times a day, every day if you can. And if you are given this exercise after a method session, please do make sure you do this every day for the 7 days after your method session. Because of course, as we said, in the session, your subconscious is very, very agile after a method session. If a method session is something that you haven't had and you're curious, please do reach out, get in touch, ask me questions, and I can explain to you the process and how it is that you can book yourself in. If you've already done one and you've already seen it, please do stick it out for the 7 days, and any days on top of that is an absolute bonus. You can never do this process too much. Anytime something comes up that doesn't feel good, go and do this micro method process. It takes just a few minutes after you've practiced a few times and you know what you're doing. It really is a very, very efficient thing to do. So that's it from me. Thank you so much for joining me for this practice of the micro method. If you have any questions, please do get in touch. Otherwise, I'll talk to you really soon. Bye for now.